A Florida high school's lunchtime is serving up some controversy. How? The school started a program that seats students for their midday meal by grade point average and attendance. Hudson High School's reported reasoning is to motivate students to do better in class. Critics say it divides rather than inspires. What are your all's thoughts?
Okay, listen, I mean, to be fair, sometimes there are privileges to be earned when you are a good student, like off-campus lunch privileges and whatnot, but this is so public, it can feel very marginalizing, and I'm thinking about those students who might have a difficulty performing in classrooms because of learning disabilities, maybe developmental disabilities, mental health issues like performance anxiety, and now they are being shunned, and that's gonna make their problems worse.
It makes their situation even worse.
I looked at it from a different angle, which is, it's not exactly popular to do well in school. And so when I'm in high school, I'm not advertising to everyone that, hey, I'm doing really well. You want to almost be subtle and fit in. And so for whether you're a child not making grades or you're doing well, kids can get bullied for doing well in school. True. So who's to say the kid who gets the top GPA doesn't get
in my high
beat
school,
up?
we didn't have this situation. We had the 4.0 club, right? And I remember being in class and they said, well, you have to go for your 4.0 club picture now. Everybody's like throwing stuff at you.
Well, I think what this does is it's kind of shaming on both ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So it's segregating kids and really outing them whether or not they're off track or on track. I don't think there's a win in this either way.
It's like a built-in system for bullying almost.
Exactly, and it's bullying in both directions because some of the cutoffs on this I was actually really troubled about. I mean, the grade part that you have to have at least a 2.0 GPA, you can't have any Fs, that's the segregation on the grade front, but there's also an absentee aspect that even if you have 4 excused absences, you're still considered off track. So to your point about discrimination and sort of the disabilities, like what if you have a medical condition? What if you have a family situation? I mean, you're going to be off track.
It is a weird elitism.
It is a weird that is not healthy.
Did y'all
at any age?
Right. Did y'all try to hide the fact that you were good students when you were in school?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was a complete nerd, and I owned it.
You owned your nerd?
There was a different era. How about you, big boy?
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I just remember at my high school graduation when I...
valedictorian?
I was salutatorian, but I will say that when I went up on stage, I think that the people who weren't in the honors classes were a bit surprised because I did not want to advertise.
You were dressed up, Dr. Travis.
No, it's, I will say.
That looks like a 4.0 student right there.
That does. I don't think you were hiding it very well.
No, the reason that I'm passionate about this and the whole bullying of when I was a kid growing up, before I went through my growth spurt, they called me Stork the Dork. And I was, like, I'm not kidding. And and then I went through my growth spurt, but through high school, I really wanted to keep it quiet that I was doing well because you just want to fit in. You don't. And I think the same. And
look at that.
I will say that sometimes actually it's harder on boys who are really good students. I think
I did win the award for shortest shorts, though. Go ahead.
I was just thinking that certainly it depends on what era you grew up in and, you know, sort of the culture of your school. There's some schools that are more academically oriented where it's super cool to be top of the class.
That's true.
And then there's some schools which are like, I went to kind of like a public school where it was like on the beach and it was like really cool to be, you know, a surfer or a beach person.
Public schools are different.
Yeah, but I will say, those friends I have from high school are my lifelong friends. Like, we still get together.
That's awesome.
And it was like everybody, those friends I still have, we were all just ourselves, but I think women or girls at that age, if you find your niche and you find your group, then you will be comfortable in your own skin and you can be whoever you are. And I think that's the most important thing. But I think for boys, if you're kind of a nerdy guy, you get picked on so much more. So I get your point about
I think it gets back to this whole
about
concept, which I think we all agree on, which is divisiveness based on academics creates a major problem, because you're the 4.0 student or the 2.0 student. To me, the 4.0 student and 2.0 students should still be hanging out.
That's right.
From one another.
I agree with that.
And
it should be your
this person may have skills that you don't have.
No, I think that's a really good point.
I know I did that. I had friends all across the board.
Right.
That's
Me
big
too.
high school, and that's what made it fun.
And then I
there
think
I am.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my goodness.
Born and raised here.
I do think people should be able to choose their friends, and I think that the setup makes it feel like you are coerced into hanging
exactly. And I think policies of divisiveness are never constructive. They never lead to better outcomes. I just think this is a terrible
I think we agree
idea.
there.
Yes.
Come on.
All right.
No, we're locking arms.
We're locking arms.
We all agreed for once on a topic.